And what he started showing me was, because of the freedom in this place, it's going to flourish over other places. Because the church had, when I said self-serving, I mean that. Because the church has totally forgotten, or almost totally forgotten, the prophetic. It's the one that was used to part the waters, open the seas, and all sorts of crazy stuff. And they've dismissed it, but it's still here today. And because it's allowed to speak, you reap the benefits. You get to see the coolest stuff that God can dream up through the prophetic realm. Not necessarily me, but anybody else that walks in the door. Or whatever's in your heads, hearts. And he was saying to me that you're going to see the dry bones come to life. And it's going to be amazing. Because there were some bones in here that needed some life tonight. And it's going to take a God to grab him, to intercept him. And he was showing me, even on nights like this, I appreciate Tobias. Because I stepped back there in the back before we got started. I said, what do you want to do tonight? He said, it's just us. He says, I'm going to preach. And that was already on my heart. I already knew that. I already knew we were going to proceed. If there's 1 or 20, we're going to go as if they're all here. Because you always do something. You always learn something. Even if it comes out of your mouth, you go, oh, you wouldn't have known it if you hadn't been in the Spirit.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciated that. Because he was ready to go with an empty house. And that's faithfulness. That's faithfulness. Holy cow, preaching to the stuffed toys is what I told him. I said, let's do it. And he was ready. And the presence of God, come on him, come on us, come in here deep tonight, as far as I care. It was deep. And what I started seeing moments ago was that the dry bones are going to come to life, and we get to witness it, because we're not the ones going, no, God, we want water. God, we want God. La, 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 la. No, we're in here. God, here we are. We're here again. It's okay that there's nobody here. We're here again. We're here again, God, waiting on you, being faithful in front of you. We're going to put in our time. Because you reward. You are he who's the rewarder. And we're sitting here. We're paying attention. We could go out and do 50 different things. Well, there's nobody here tonight, just us. Okay, see you later, bye. No. And that's what he was speaking to me. It's the dry bones. We get to see them. We're going to see some of the coolest stuff that God can think of, because we are working hard to get rid of our dry bones, our limits on him. We're letting the Holy Ghost use his ice cream scoop on us. Sometimes a knife or a teaspoon ain't enough. You know, and get something out of there and get rid of the garbage that we've been packing around that we don't even know we have. And so I appreciate Tobias, because he was ready to go. He thought, yeah, let's just do it, man. This is cool. Boom! We got to hear Bobby. She was armed and loaded. You had a good word. That was a good word. We heard some stuff tonight we wouldn't have heard if we went home.
And we got to pray.
And we got to pray.
For each other. And
yes,
receive
and Ben
prayer.
walked out of here blessed, just like the second time he's been here or something. That's good.
And worship.
He came. I'm like, yes, and he was ministered to, and it was really cool. And so, anyway, what I'm trying to say is I saw about 3 things trying to get my head wrapped around it. God is going to start doing some big stuff. Because when I talked with Tobias yesterday, he had the word manifestation. And that's what I've been on too. I've already been on it. And it was interesting watching tonight how it unfolded, because it was totally off. God gives us
some ideas.
It's not etched in stone, but he'll say, I want this and this and this and that. And you have this rough draft, and some days it's really rough because the cats are going everywhere and you can't keep them gathered. And that's what happened tonight. They couldn't stay gathered, and it was good. And I'm just saying that this sounds horrible, self-serving, but because of the caliber of the people who walk in this place on a regular basis, we get to see the cream of the crop of God go to work. We get to witness it. I get to witness whatever Linda's up to. I get to witness whatever Joanne's up to, or you, or Lanny, or Tobias, or Ben or whoever else comes in the door. I mean, I was amazed at Tiffany. She left. I thought she was done. It was pretty rough corral tonight for her. You know, she's got some issues, and right now it's not pretty. And boom, she come right up here. I says, you know, we just started prayer. You know, if you want something, dive in. She walks right up and starts talking about cramps. What Ben was talking. I mean, she just walked in the door.
Yeah, she didn't hear any of it.
No, I'm like, glory. Look at the timing on this one. And then on the way taking her home just now, I told her we weren't pointing at her about that John Vadir thing, the offense thing. I says that was already pre-scheduled yesterday. I said it just happened to be the timing. And she says, I said, we weren't focusing that, trying to pull it on you. And she says, I know that. And she said it was really good. And she said somebody needed to hear that. And she thought it was very interesting as well. I said, it's been an interesting night for nobody showing up. But so we're going to see the coolest things because the people are allowed to do stuff. And that we're not out whining about stuff. We're whining we want God. If we're whining for the right things. And dining on the right things. And that God's really going to start showing up in a powerful way, because what he's doing right now is, once again, he's re-leveling the place. He's changing everybody around. It's just a time of change. Tobias is finding his spot. Bobby's finding hers. Other people are finding theirs. I got to refine mine. And it's good. It was really good tonight. I thought the flow was excellent. And so I'm happy that God, and that's what he told me, he's deeply pleased. I'm like, wow, thank you. And so we're going to get to see some cool stuff, because he's got plans. Winston's right outside them doors, and he wants them. He's drooling over them, you know. He wants them so bad. And so it's going to be really cool to start seeing this stuff, because it's coming. It's coming. He's going to make it happen, period, end of sentence. No ifs, ands, or buts. And that's what I want to share about. When the prophetic realm is allowed to operate as it operates, and not as it is told or thought it should or whatever, it is unlimited. It is the wild west of God, that anything goes that you can dream of. And that's what, because the prophetic, the church has lost it. They don't understand why they're in bondage to everything around them, and every time they turn around, they don't understand the power and the presence of the office. And that's what there's so many of these people out there thinking they're directing angels or doing this or doing that. Well, guess what? Why don't you just... They follow the real deal, the prophetic office. But what's also cool is the prophetic office is also geared to put up other people, to get them in the door, to get them up in a place where they can use their gifts, like Tobias. We recognized he was a man of God. It was a divine connection. I, or even Lanny, or anybody else could walk down these other churches, they won't recognize you. That's what we talked about. And so God is, I'm going to put it this way, he's drooling over this place. And we're doing the best we can to get this thing straight. And I know tonight was a pretty tough word, but he wanted to take some skin off and wanted you to think about some things.
Sure.
Because he really wants to get with some stuff. I mean, it's going to be big, it's going to be powerful, and it's going to be wild, and it's going to be the Shekinah glory, it's going to be the diamonds, it's going to be all of that cool stuff. The dead bones are coming back, and that's what's so cool. Because if you think about the Old Testament, and right now it's what we've always said, the old and new are coming together, the whole book in one accord.
Yes.
And so if you've got all that going, you've got some pretty unlimited horsepower. Because, and I have to say this, other people simply don't have a clue. I'm not talking about anybody in the room, I'm just talking out there, the brand names and so forth, don't have a clue. Because they limit the prophetic, they limit the gifts, they limit it. Some don't mean to, some always do. It's just the way it works. They don't understand, or some just, no, this is the way we've always done it, and that's how it's read, and blah, 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 blah. But what he's saying is, in this place, it's going to be wild. It's not just going to be like this. He's got plans. Right now he's just letting the dirt settle and everybody find their place again, because we've stepped up. Whether you realize it or not, we've moved up. We're in a deeper place, way deeper place. And as far as what I want to try to say, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but this is what God wanted me to say. I said it sounds self-serving. He wants everybody to understand that he created the prophetic office. I mean, it's all the way back.
Yeah.
And look at what it does. It's not about the man, it's about what it does. The office. Read all the way back and look at the examples. Holy cow. And that is what's being brought to bear in here. And he's making an example of this because the brand names don't want it, won't listen, won't let it work. And that's a deep word that we get to enjoy. We get to witness. We get the front row seat to his glory on his terms. And he's going to do it in front of us. He just wants us to cooperate. Walk with him. Follow. Listen.
Listen.
But what he's really impressed me with is the amount of dry bones that we get to watch. I mean, just like that video. I'd never seen that video before, and that really impressed me because it showed the skin and the sinew, everything coming back on the person. Did you see that, Joanne? You weren't here yet. Okay. You get YouTube? Okay, Kim can tell you the video or send it to you or something. It's really impressive because it
I
shows...
could show it right now. Not to interrupt you. It's
Well,
only
we could.
1 minute.
It's only like
It's only
1 minute,
1 minute long.
40 seconds, but it shows real bones. I mean, you think you're looking at somebody dug up a graveyard, and all of a sudden they start fitting together, and all the stuff starts coming on. Next thing you know, you got a man. It's very well done. It was very impressive. I think we should watch that one more time because that's the promise that God's given us.
Yes.
And the dry
Well, look how it
bones.
was confirmed through Bobby, too.
Yeah, and that's what
Nobody
was so
said
cool.
a word to her. And that's the word she had when she came.
Yeah,
Were you
Kim had
there?
this, what, yesterday? The day
Yeah.
before? Dry bones?
No, it was this. Yeah, yesterday.
Showed up yesterday.
Yeah, so I can watch
Well, I don't want to keep anybody. I just want, God wanted me to just say that you're
Tell
got...
me I can watch it.
You got a front row seat to some really deep stuff coming up because of what's allowed to operate in here, whether it's a teacher, the preacher, or whoever. So anyway, I'll shut up.
But that was cool because she came in, she had no idea. She started singing immediately a Dry Bones song.
Yeah.
And we had already lined all this out.
See, and that's another work of the Holy Ghost.
That's the prophetic office, though other people are prophetic that are contributing, and it's a freedom that allows for God to be God that we're trying to maintain, which is a challenge because people still get in their routines and their ideas of what they want to accomplish, myself included. You know, we all have to get ourselves out of the way to let God be God. And anyway,
It's a challenge.
that's that herding cats thing.
Yeah.
And also, Joanne, I wanted to share with you a really cool praise